That's my dog. His name is Sprout. He has a lot to say. Don't stifle him. Hi everybody, welcome back. My name is Nisha and today we're going to be making a pakora recipe. Pakora is an Indian fried snack. It's very similar to a Bangladeshi dish called bhaji, but instead of red lentils, we use chickpea flour. Garbanzo bean flour. They are served kind of like a little snack. Usually they have onions. I've had chicken pakora before going vegan, and it's one of my favorite snacks. This is the way I make mine. I think they're spectacular, and I deeply encourage you to dip your little toes into the world of deep frying, because so many delicious Indian food recipes are fried and so many amazing cultural dishes are fried. So if you want to dip your toes in, I'm going to help you out. We got some avocado oil in here ready to go. So I like to make my pakora with a little bit of red onion, a little bit of zucchini, and half of a small yellow potato. Usually people tend to grate them. I'm gonna cut mine into little tiny matchsticks because you just get a bite of the vegetable. You can really taste the vegetable instead of just having an amorphous blob pakora, which I still enjoy. But these are Nisha's pakoras. And Nisha, myself, likes them with tiny little french fries in them. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna cut it in half. I'm just gonna cut little thin slices. These are about 1/2 centimeter in thickness. And I'm gonna just keep doing that with the whole half of the potato. You want it pretty thin, especially that we're not grating it, just because I feel like then it cooks really well and it flavors really well, because in a second we're gonna salt them. So once you've done the little slices, you're gonna go back in and make little matchsticks. They should look like this. If you can see, little tiny matchsticks. You're beautiful. I love all you little potato slices. And you want to err on the side of thinner. If they're a little thicker, they'll be a little more like french fries. If they're a little thinner, they'll be a little crispier. All right, you're gonna take the little matchsticks when you cut them and you're gonna throw them in a colander. Now we're gonna do the same thing with our onion. I'm only using half of a very small onion. You don't want more than 1/2 to 1/3 cup of each vegetable you're putting in. Make very thin slices of your onion. It'll taste so much better if you do. And I'm just gonna cut about 1/2 of a cup of onion, which would be 1/2 of a small onion or 1/4 of a large red onion. You can use any kind of onion. When you're done cutting up the onions, I would separate them out just a little bit. You can just take them, rub them around. They should fall apart. This will ensure the salt gets to every little slice. Then back in the colander. Now we're taking the zucchini, just using 1/2 of a zucchini. I'm gonna cut off the top. And then I'm gonna cut so it doesn't roll around so much. I'm just gonna cut a little stump off to the side. Boom. Nice and flat, easy to cut. And I'm gonna continue making those 1/2 centimeter slices and then making them into matchsticks. Then you can stack them. It's a really good way to make matchsticks. I've never been told before. You can stack them then and just make little thin cuts. I think we're done. If you can see, they're nice and thin, ready to go in the colander. Now I'm going to take 1/4 teaspoon of salt and I'm going to sprinkle it on over the veggies in the colander. And you're just gonna wanna evenly sprinkle them all over. And then you're gonna wanna massage everything. Make sure that the salt is covering every part. And it's good to do this in a colander because there's little holes, and what the salt will do is it'll draw out a lot of the moisture that keeps these very firm. You can leave them alone, wipe your hands off, go make the rest of your meal, the rest of your snacks, or I'll make a chai recipe on my Instagram. I'll link it below. All right, I'm gonna go off for a little bit and I'll see you in 15 to 30 minutes.
15 minutes later.
Hi. Hopefully, if you're making this in a real setting, not for internet friends, you have made some other kind of snack, chutney, drink, I don't know. You're ready to wow your guests. That's a knife. Now we're gonna take our veggies. You can see they're nice and limp now. I'm taking a clean dish towel. I'm putting it on the counter. This should be really drippy. We're gonna just go and do a little bloop. We're gonna take this, we're gonna fold it up, and you're just gonna squeeze. squeeze a little bit of the moisture out. Yeah, just want to squeeze. You just want to squeeze some of the moisture out. It'll take off a little bit of the salt. So if you went a little heavy on the 1/4 teaspoon, good for you. I would too. And then we're done. We're done. We squeeze them. It should be all wet now, nice and soggy. Just like put them to the side. Just put them right there. Goodbye. Now, you don't need this. We will need a bowl. And my masala dabba, if you want to know what's inside of here, check out the description down below. I work really hard on that video and it's a good one. It's a damn good one. We got a sieve. Chihuahuas, man, they're ready to kill. We're gonna take our bowl. We're gonna take our sieve. We're gonna take garbanzo bean flour. Y'all, you can find this stuff anywhere, but I highly recommend you pay patronage to your local Indian grocer and support in these times. So I'm gonna take a 1/2 cup of that's my dog, his name is Sprout, he has a lot to say, don't stifle him. I'm gonna take a 1/2 cup of garbanzo bean flour. This is an exact science. Wait, it is, let me fix that. Now it's an exact science. We're gonna take our 1/2 cup, we're gonna just put it in the sieve. If you don't have a sieve, don't sweat. I just like to sift it in. There's something oddly therapeutic about just like shaking it a little bit and letting it just snow delicious chickpea flour. We're gonna add our squeezed veggies. I like to do it in this order. I don't know why, it just always works better if I do flour, veggies, then spices. Let's unwrap our little present of squeezed veg and just like dump them in. Another thing you want to prep is a bowl of water. Hi, welcome to Chili's. Prepping my little bowl of water. You got a little bowl of water. If you've never seen what a bowl of water is, there you go. Got that clip just for you. Just a handful of parsley. We'll add this in a second. Just hold on to it. It's clean. You can also use cilantro. I know it's more traditional to use cilantro, but I love parsley. Okay, we're gonna turn on the oil. I have a pan of oil. It's hard to temp like I'm a professional chef. It's hard to gauge the actual temperature of this little oil with an oil thermometer, so I would just do a tiny test bit. But I'm gonna do like a medium-low heat. While the oil is heating up, I'm going to be taking 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds. Do not fret. Everything is written out in the description down below. You can use powdered cumin. It's gonna be just a little bit strong, so I would go with like a 1/2 if you just have powdered cumin. But guys, you gotta get the cumin seeds. When they toast in oil, we're also gonna go in with a little more salt. I'm gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon. I'm gonna do a 1/2 teaspoon of garam masala. Garam masala is a blend of spices. A 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder. If this is just conventional, regular blended chili powder. If you have red chili powder from an Indian grocer, you would just do a 1/4. If you don't have either and you have cayenne, you can use a 1/4 or just like a pinch of cayenne if you don't want it that spicy. Or just omit it, I don't know, f me. I'm gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. Fantastic. Oh, and this you don't have to have, but I really like adding it. I think it's delicious and they're very good for you. These are ajwain seeds and I'm just adding a 1/4 teaspoon. These, like the cumin seeds, when they touch oil, whew, hang on to your pants. It's delicious. No, I'm serious. Knock your pants off. Okay, what else? What else? Ooh, last but not least, ginger. Hi, I forgot you were here. Ginger. If you keep your ginger in the freezer, so much easier to grate. I have a little microplane. I'm gonna grate a 1/2 inch of ginger. This, oh, now it's recording, I can talk about it. Ginger is so lovely in this dish because all the flavors are very dark, and then the little bit of freshness from the ginger, it adds just a little subtle brightness. Try it, let me know what you think. So I'm gonna take a spoon and start mixing everything together. I will also be taking a little bit of water and adding it a teaspoon at a time. The reason I don't wanna give you measurements for the water is because I'm an asshole. No, but really, depending on how much water your veggies have in it or what kind of veggies you add to it, the amount of water is going to vary, and I want this to be foolproof, so I'm gonna show you what it should look like. So I'm gonna add about 2 teaspoons of water at first, and I'm gonna just mix up the spices evenly, and then I'm gonna scoop from the bottom and pull the flour up to the top. I'm gonna turn off by heat. So yeah, just keep scooping from the bottom and adding the flour in. When you see that the flour is kind of covering everything, I'm gonna use a tablespoon. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of water and start mixing again. The other day my veggies weren't as dry and I didn't need as much water. So I'm very happy with my decision and not telling you how much water to add. Just keep adding water and mixing. All right, I've added quite a bit of water now and the consistency is nice and liquidy like I like it. If it's too thick, it's gonna start feeling really heavy and dense. Now you're gonna add some parsley. I'm just picking off the little leaves and I'm just gonna do about a 1/4 cup of parsley or cilantro if you like cilantro more. I like leaving the leaves nice and big. I just think it's really pretty when you take a bite and there's just like a gorgeous leaf inside, but I don't like to use the stem. And if you don't want that bite of a leaf, you can always chop it up. Okay, now I'm gonna toss that together. Fully incorporate it, make sure it's evenly mixed, so get a little vigorous with everything. This is what it should look like. Nice and evenly coated. It looks like the parsley's in every little bit. I'm gonna turn on my avocado oil. You can use vegetable oil, whatever floats your boat. I'm using avocado oil because that's what I found at the store. Now it's hard to temperature gauge this little oil in the pan, so I would just recommend doing a little test. And I'm gonna keep this on like a medium low and then just turn it up because you don't want it like splashing. This is the scariest part for me before I actually became very comfortable with frying stuff. Now I think it's so fun and so cool. I think everyone should try it once in their life. Multiple times in their life. It's exhilarating, it's fun, you're in quarantine, you're protecting people by staying home, we hope, and this will make it so much more exciting. There's so much shame in fried foods in the vegan world. It's incredible, and something that makes me really sad is that a lot of really amazing cultural dishes are fried, and they're delicious. And it's as if we're not already having enough trouble being proud of ourselves and our cultures, but just on top of that, to have a movement that doesn't accept your fried cultural foods, it's hard. So to me, making dishes that aren't as popular or as searchable, it's very empowering. I want all of us to be so proud of who we are, because there's nothing wrong with who we are, who we were born as. Making Indian food kind of reminds me of who I was before the world told me who I was supposed to be. All right, let's make pakora. So we've set up our oil. It feels hot. Now I'm just going to take a little veg. I'm just gonna dip the tip in. Oh. Can you hear that? When it gets those little bubbles, it's ready. Now I'm just gonna try to grab a little bit of everything. I think no bigger than 2 inches. So I try to get a little bit of everything in there, and then you can just kind of drop it in. Careful of your finger. I've done this so many times, so I'm very confident in my frying skills. You can just press it together. If it runs away from each other, just press it together. I don't think they should be any bigger than like 2 inches. I would say 1.5 inches, but you know, you just want like a little snacky. So making another one. Sometimes I get lazy and I make them too big, and then they're just not good. So be patient. Don't be like Nisha. You'll know they're ready to flip over when they stick together and you take a little peek and they're golden brown. Now that I have a couple in the pan, I'm just going to take a big plate and I'm gonna cover it with paper towel. If you're like anti-paper towel, you can do this on like a raised cookie sheet or a cooling rack. You can see it sticks together really well. It doesn't move. Like you can see that one's not totally ready yet. And it's a nice golden brown color. It's more like a brown color, not even golden brown. I just like saying golden brown, so I'm telling you guys that. And then let's grab a little bit of salt and have that ready to go. Now let's just keep turning. That one might be not completely ready, so I'm gonna let him go back. Check on this guy. Not ready, not ready, ready. So this guy's ready. They should take about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Just keep an eye on it. You'll know when it's done. It's better to keep these thin too. I've found with pakora, if it's too thick, it just gets really dense and gummy on the inside. Chickpea flour is just a really dense, fibrous flour. You'll see it's done when both sides have that beautiful golden brown color. And you're just gonna go, and you're gonna transfer it on to your little sheet. And then really quickly, while it's still hot, sprinkle just a tiny bit of salt on there. And you're gonna do that for all of them. Okay, we've finished. Everything has cooled down. It's been salted while hot and oily. Turn off your oil. The rest of the oil can be strained and put in the fridge, and you can reuse it up to like 5 or 7 times, depending on what oil you use. Google it. I just love how these turned out. I worked so hard on perfecting the recipe. They're bright, but still fried and satiating. They've got a really buttery, herbal taste from the parsley. And I think because we didn't grate our veggies and we decided to do little matchsticks and salt them instead, you get a really good bite of the veggies. Aren't they gorgeous? Truly so good. I'm so proud of this recipe. They're so buttery, so flavorful. It's not dense because I kept them really thin and I kept the oil heat pretty low. Put it down, finish the video. Thank you for joining me. Please tag me on Instagram if you make this. Comment down below. Let me know if you've ever had a pakora before or something like it. I love sharing these dishes with you. It's very special and near and dear to my heart. It feels very intimate and personal to share something that is so a part of my just childhood with you all. I think you will really enjoy making these. It's exhilarating. I don't know how to end videos. Goodbye. Speed round. Let me show you how to make a pakora. You'll need a red onion, zucchini, and half potato. Cut the potato and the zucchini into little matchsticks. Cut the onion half into slices and separate each strand. Add your sliced vegetables to a colander and sprinkle 1/4 teaspoon of salt over it. Massage the salt evenly into the veggies and allow water to draw out for 15 to 20 minutes. The veggies should be softer. Empty the veggies into a clean dish towel and squeeze out the extra liquid. Set aside squeezed veggies. Add 1/2 cup of garbanzo bean flour to a bowl and then add your veggies from the dishcloth. Add to the bowl 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds, 1/8 to 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of garam masala, 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder, 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric, and an optional 1/4 teaspoon of ajwain, and grate 1/2 of ginger. Then prep a bowl of water and set it aside, as well as a handful of clean cilantro or parsley leaves. I just like parsley more. I'm using parsley. Now add 1 tablespoon of water at a time and then mix until the batter has reached this consistency. Then you can add your cilantro or parsley and mix until evenly incorporated. Then start your fry oil. Test a little tip of a veggie. If it gets these tiny bubbles, it's ready. Then add 1 to 2 inch scoops of the batter to the oil. Keep the scoops thin so the pakoras can get crispy. You'll know each pakora is ready to flip when it sticks together and the bottom is browned. It should be about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. When the pakora is browned on each side, transfer it to a paper towel and then immediately sprinkle some salt. Then your pakoras are done. Serve it with your favorite chutney or cheeky cup of chai.